and computing power and storage being, really as much as you want.
And it's interesting, I too start with that. Like if I don't know what else to predict, but as a foundational thing, this seems like the safest starting, premise. But then what does that ripple through to in fields like genetics and AI, which you mentioned, autonomous driving, space-related topics?
I mean, just ubiquitous computing everywhere. I think AI is going to be incredibly sophisticated in 20 years.
When does it first wake up?
It seems to be accelerating, and the tricky thing about predicting things when there's an exponential is that an exponential looks linear close up, but it's not linear. So, and AI appears to be accelerating, from what I can see.
And do you look at autonomous driving and point AIs like the Siri-like functionality as your guidepost?
Well, I had sort of a debate about something like, is AI accelerating or not? And he was saying, well, what's the y-axis? If it's accelerating, you got t on the x-axis, but what's the y-axis? And I said, well, I thought about that, and I think you could have a recursive y-axis, so that if at any point in time your predictions for AI are coming sooner or later, that actually would help define whether it's accelerating or not.
Whatever that axis was. So you mentioned look at the net change.
It's a recursive axis. Like, so if in any given year, if you find your predictions are going further out or coming closer in, that actually, is one way to think of acceleration. Because otherwise, what's the qualitative or quantitative measure of AI?
I was saying, if a given technology is always 20 years in the future.
Yeah, if it's always 20 years in the future, it's like more logarithmic.
So does AI seem like it's one of the most fastly accelerating things that you're aware of?
Yes. And I can certainly see that with autonomous driving, where 3 years ago I thought it was 10 years away, and then 2 years ago I thought it was 5 years away. Now I think it's 3 years away or less than 3 years away.
Wow. So, and when you say away, like released to market, available for consumer adoption, as opposed to prototyping?
No, I mean like the technology works. There's a sort of second question as to when regulators would approve it.
Yeah.
But like
good luck with that.
The technology works technology works as a general solution. So like autonomous driving, like basically works anywhere.
So it could be sooner for point things, like highway only or.
I mean, highway only, we're already in public beta with this at Tesla, so we'll be hopefully in the next several weeks releasing to all of the cars that have the autopilot hardware, which is all cars built in like roughly the last 12 months.
Wow. And so this seems like one of those things that once you've experienced it, the inevitability of it becomes more apparent. Kind of like the first time I sat in an electric vehicle, it's just so clear, and same with autonomous vehicles. Do you think that will help persuade public opinion? And like that regulatory question is an interesting one, because as technology continues to accelerate, human nature doesn't, and acceptance of change. I'm just not sure if there's, like, as we look out in the future, should we assume that no matter how fast something like Moore's law accelerates, there's always the counterbalancing force of human nature and habit?
I think there's always going to be the sort of